Eileo guys, and welcome back. And in today's video I'm going to discuss to you guys at least my casual opinion on the whole selection cards that we have for the Nat5s. It looks like we're pretty much getting one element per week, so we're starting off here with the fire week, so let's go ahead and get right into it. Alright, so just for video's sake, I won't do the other elements because I think that's kind of pointless unless you guys really want it, because this is just a broad overview of what you guys should choose for the Nat5 selection cards. So there's a couple of different ways to go about this, but the easiest way for me, at least in my opinion, is to kind of rate where you currently are in the game. So if you're a new player, I can't remember if it's true or not, or if it does happen or not. I feel like it did. But as a new player, I do believe you get one Nat5 selection card, and you can pick whatever element mon of the old school mons. And I end up picking Fire Purse on the Eileo account, if I am recalling that correctly. I believe it was like that. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But so if you just began and you don't have a really good sapper, which shameless plug over here, check out my sappers tier list. If you don't have a really good sapper, it doesn't have to be Fire Purse, but obviously Fire Purse would be super nice to have. But if you don't have a sapper, a really good sapper, I would honestly contemplate about picking that sapper. The reason being, if you're a beginner, or if you've been playing the game for a while and your sappers are maxed out with Water Miho or Water Sea Star, if that's your sappers, then I would honestly consider picking up maybe Fire Purse for the Fire selection card, or even Water Artemis for the Water selection card. Why? It's simple. Because as a beginner, and basically as any MSL player in the game ever, if you don't have a sapper, especially for, this leads to golems, if you don't have mods that can clear out golems, congratulations. It doesn't matter if you pick Fire Shinobi here. It doesn't matter if you pick Fire Wukong. It doesn't matter if you pick Wet Acer. It doesn't matter if you pick Wood Merlin or anyone like that, even though I don't believe Merlin's on the selection card. It doesn't matter who you pick, because your gems 100% garbage. Why? Because you're running B8, you're running B9, you're running B7. You haven't done B10, you're not doing B11, you're not anywhere near B15. So if you don't have a good dedicated sapper, that sapper's pretty much going to be one of the mods that's going to help you build your account up with everything else. So if you do have a sapper though, you don't have to worry about this part of the video. So if you don't have a sapper, I would either, depending on your choices here, pick Fire Purse, or I don't think you can get Water Artemis, can you? No, I don't even see Artemis on the list. So yeah, that pretty much is it. There are other sapper substitutes like Dark Flora, there's Dark Vampire. I mean, there's a whole bunch of decent sappers, especially with the light and dark selection card. There's also Dark Yuki if you want to go about that route, but I would contemplate go ahead and just taking the hit right here, because my Eileo account has a Fire Purse. Haven't regretted picking her, not one bit. But let's say, for instance, you do have a sapper, or you're comfortable with your sapping team or whatever, right? You're doing B10, you're doing B11, you hope to one day do B15. Okay, gym situation is down. Alright, next up, to all my boys and girls out there with sappers and you're fighting in a Golem's realm, honestly just going to be Courageous Strikers, because PvP is good, but at least for the fire mods, there isn't that really interesting PvP mods, and you could probably argue with all the other ones too that they're kind of obtainable or easier to obtain depending on your luck versus the other mods. But essentially with the Titan mods, at least for the fire one, it's going to be Fire Wukong or Fire Shinobi. You may be like Eileo, but I have Fire Sha Wujing. Sorry to break it to you, you don't want that. There's also Fire Scheherazade. I was like, what is her name again? I think she's fine, but if I have the option of picking Fire Scheherazade versus Fire Shinobi, I'm going to pick Fire Shinobi. If I don't have 5 Fire Shinobis on my team for, both lanes of Titans, I'm going to pick Fire Shinobi. If I don't have at least 3 Fire Wukongs, I'm going to pick Fire Wukong. So honestly, the order for this is, if you don't have enough Shinobis, I would do Shinobis first. If you have enough Shinobis, I would do Wukong. The other guys, I would literally just not pick them, unless the third part is essentially picking whatever that you want for fodder. So say for instance, you're your team for Wood Titan is good to go. You don't really need any of these mons. Well, look, I pulled a Wet Acer from Clans Fest, so I'm going to go ahead and pick her as fodder. I'm going to select her. Congratulations, I'll now have fodder to help Evo 3 my Wet Acer. So make sure you have a dedicated sapper. If you have a dedicated sapper, move on to Titan mons. If you don't have Fire Wukong or Fire Shinobi, get one of these two. I do not recommend Fire Xiao Wujing. I do not recommend Fire Scheherazade. Not that they're bad, but you literally have an option to pick the best mons at this point in time. So why would you waste it? And if you have those, feel free to pick fodder to feed it into something else. And I mean, that's pretty much it. And from a PvP standpoint, let's say for instance you somehow have all the Titan mons that you ever need. Some interesting choices here is everyone got a Fire Arthur, so you shouldn't be picking Fire Arthur. I mean, you could use him as fodder for other Arthurs if you got lucky, but that falls once again in the fodder category. So, I mean, I think Fire Valk is an okay choice. Would I use like a selection card on her though? No. Fire Ender is also a really good choice as well because of his damage, but would I use a selection card on him? Probably not. However, I'm going to end up contradicting myself because I am picking Fire Indra, but that's because Fire Indra is going to be fodder. Why? Because I already have dedicated sappers. I don't have a Fire Purse, but I have 2 Wet Artemises. I have like 4 or 5 Dark Yukis. My sapper situation is good. I already have all my Titan mons. I have 1,055,567 Fire Wukongs. I literally have 8 Fire Shinobis. These guys, I don't have any use for them. Wet Acer would be nice to get the Evo 3, especially if I pick Wet Acer with the next card. But if you guys didn't see my post on the community tab, there's someone else that I need to get to Evo 3. So I'm going to go ahead and pick him. Even though I do have other Indras in my box, I want to go ahead and pick him. That way I can still work towards getting my Water Ones Evo 3. But that's basically the best way I can explain about going through this. And this goes for all 3 of the selection cards. So once the Water card comes around, do the exact same thing. Oh look, there's no good sappers on the list because we're limited to these guys. Let me see what we have in terms of the Water Courageous Strikers. Acer just came out. Acer is the best Courageous Striker for Water right now. I don't have enough Acers. Let me go ahead and pick her. Alright, problem solved. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, I already have enough Acers somehow because I got super duper lucky. So maybe I should pick something else. Oh, look, I do have a Wood Garuda on my team. So maybe I should pick that Wood Garuda or that Water Garuda so I can Evo 2 him and then feed him into my other Garuda to help Wood Garuda get to Evo 3. So make sure you have a dedicated sapper. Make sure you have enough Titan mons to help you get higher scores in Titan so you can earn more gems per week. If you have all that, feel free to pick fodder. If you somehow have enough fodder and you don't have one of the select decent PvP mods, then feel free to select that. If you have any other questions though, feel free to join the Discord. If you guys haven't considered subscribing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on the latest and the greatest and more. And if you have more in-depth questions, we are on Discord, so you can always pop up in there and ask your question and hopefully not play yourself. But that's pretty much it.
Oh my goodness!